transcription. It says, let everyone know they are being recorded and transcribed. Now, the scope of the exam, it's the tips and things, it's everything that I've been telling you guys, and you will notice the exam won't be difficult, especially if you understood, watch the videos if you were not attending. You know me, I want you to think, right? Now, what's this? The question that will be in the exam that we agreed on, whether it's 2 marks or 3 marks, it will be from the assignment, the classes, the textbook, and the study guide. Right? So meaning one of the questions in everything that we have done together will be there. Some questions, yes, will be very easy because if you understand your work, then it's fine. Now, some people send questions. The reason why I cancel those questions is because those questions, even if I do one question, you won't understand it. Right? If I give you a different question. What I want you to do is actually go and understand the theory behind it. Now, there was a request that we do this paper over here. I know there are people who have done it. The reason why I'm doing this paper is because I think it was the first paper, the first exam I did or something like that, if I remember. Yeah, right? And it's related to how the new structure of the exam is since 2021. Now, this is a question. Question number 1. Those who tried it, did you get it? What is the answer there? So the exam will be like this. It says, consider the function f, g, okay, and h. Now, before I continue, this is an exam that was sent to the moderator, right? Now the moderator corrected the mistakes, including the memos. So I'll tell you which question has a mistake here, and then you will solve it. Like, for example, question 1, the function h is not there. So in the actual exam, it was solved. So your exam will be like, you see how you see your assignment 1 and assignment 5. That's how the exam will be in the system. So for question 1, the only problem was that we're supposed to say the function f and g are defined as follows, right? Respectively. If the set df and dg represents the domain of f and g respectively, then the domain of f and g are given by. Then you are given option. Now the other one, the last option, I don't like adding it when I send it to the moderator. It's none of the given solutions. So if you solve and you don't find any of this solution, then you'll choose option. I don't know where option none of the given solution will be, because remember, it randomly what's this? It shuffles your answers. The system will shuffle your answers. So if we get the same question, right? Me and you, if we get the same question, what happened is, guys, people are bothering me. I'm not accepting anyone now. If we happened, or let me make people admin so that you can help me to accept. Okay, where's my peoples? I'll make Anele presenter. I'll make Antonia a presenter. I hope these people will help me. I'll make Twala a presenter. Did you see yourself? Presenters, please help in accepting. So now there'll be option number 5, or any option. There'll be an option which says none of the given solutions. So meaning I can give you a problem where you try to solve and there's no solution. So then you choose none of the given solution. Now, if you get the same problem, this answer here, the first one here, for example, this one here, for me, it might be number 1. For you, it will be number 4. So it shuffles, the system shuffles as well. So those are the things that you need to know. So don't think you will come in and copy, guys. Understand your work. So now let's look at question 1. What was the answer here for those who did it? Which one is the answer? Guys, am I talking to myself? You know me, when I talk to myself, I stop, guys. You know. It's not the first time.
Ma'am, I'm coming now. I'm gonna leave the class. I think there are some people on the wrong link, so I'm coming now.
Okay, no problem. Guys, those who tried this, I know there's a group of people who tried. What did you get your answer as?
Mine, option 3.
You got option 3.
Yes, I got option 3. I don't know if
Okay.
it's wrong or what, but option 3. Yeah.
And others, what option did you get?
Option 3.
Option 3.
Yes, ma'am, we got option 3.
Okay. So let's look at the question then. So let me go and cut. You will tell me why you got option 3. Because remember, this is a discussion. It's not teaching. So I want you guys to help me and tell me why you got option 3. Okay, so this is the question. Cut. What's going on now? Copy. Then we go and paste on Word. Okay. Now, let's start with the function f of x, right? The function of f of x is equals to 2 over absolute value of x plus 3. We know that the domain of f is equals to x is an element of a real number. Let's start with set notation. Remember I said, know all your notation. The notation where you say x is an element of real numbers and you have something like this, set notation, or if it's in brackets like this, or maybe we say x is between 3 and 1, 4, something like this. All these notations are important for you to know because I might take out one of them. Okay, so now let's look at the domain. What did you say about the domain of f?
Ma'am, can I try?
Yes, please.
Okay, because we have an absolute value. I
Yes.
know that absolute value has one negative number and a positive number. So it's a -3 and a +3. And we know that you can't have a 0 on
Well
the
done.
denominator
Why?
because your answer is going to be it's mathematical error. Ma'am.
Yes, well done. So
I chose that we can't have -3. We can't have any negative numbers on the denominator. And then we can't have -3 on the denominator as well. That's why I chose option 3.
okay. So you say we can't have negative numbers. Can someone help?
No, we
We
can't
can have
negative
them
numbers.
except -3.
Well done. Remember that we said a denominator is a value of what's this? A domain, not a denominator. A domain of a function are all those values of x for which the function is defined. Now, in simple English, the domain of a function are all those x values such that when you substitute into the given function, your calculator does not give you an error. Right? So we know that, okay, fine, regardless of the absolute value, if we have f of x is equals to 2 over x plus 3, we know that the only way that something for this function to not be defined is that if we have 2 over 0, then we know that this function will not be defined. Right? But what makes this whole part to be 0? It's only x is equals to -3. Because if we substitute x is equals to -3 here, it will be 0. So therefore, it will be 2 over 0. Meaning that, is there any other number such that when you substitute in here, it will give us a math error or undefined?
No.
No. So meaning that, therefore, x is an element of real number such that x should not be -3. That's your domain. But if you look at your question paper, the notation is different. It's not what you have. Do you see that? So then you have to go and check this notation where you have brackets instead of sets. right? So then you say, okay, fine. How do I represent this? How do I represent x is equals to not equals to -3? So x is an element of real number, but x is not equals to 3. How do I represent it? Guys,
in which
Can I
form,
Yes.
ma'am?
in the solution forms. Remember, your exam is multiple choice.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes, I'm listening.
you would say x is defined from negative infinity to -3 with the curly brackets. So we're not including -3 union curly bracket -3 to infinity.
Union. Is there anyone who doesn't understand this or who doesn't remember why? Guys, me, I
It
know
makes
why.
sense. Yeah, it makes
No,
sense.
ma'am, it's right.
But yeah,
Hello, ma'am.
Is there someone who forgot why?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, I understand why we wrote it like this, né? But I've got a problem sometimes when I write exams with the union part. I tend to forget the union. I usually write like negative infinity and -3 not included, and then I forget the union part. So what is the importance of the union part, ma'am?
It's because if you remember, I said if you forget how to write it like this, always go back to what? Drawing what? What did I say in class?
A number line.
Well done. Drawing a
It's
number
right, it's
line.
the bigger thing.
Do you see that? So you know that -3 is here somewhere, right? After -3, you know there will be -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to go there, right? And here there will be -4, negative what? Are we all together? Now
yes,
they are
ma'am.
saying that your domain is here. Is everything. This is what it's saying. Everything that is in X except jump -3 and everything that is in what? In X. So they are saying everything that is in the number line except for -3. Because the number line consists of real numbers. So that's it. When they say X is an element of real numbers, they're saying everything in the number line such that this is not included. So meaning that everything in the number line. So how do you draw this? You then say, okay, the domain of F is equals to, do you see that it's from -infinity? The yellow part is from -infinity, isn't it? And we say that we do not include the infinity. And then you go, they say X is an element of real number, all of these X values. But 3, we jump 3 because 3 is not included. So meaning when it comes to 3, we say 3, open brackets because 3 is not included. Or this means or. Meaning that my function is defined here or defined here where it's red. Do you see that? And how do you write it in this notation where you say here it's red? Here it's red, it starts from -3, the red part, to positive infinity. So meaning my function is defined here or here.
Okay,
because the union means or, and this one, intersection, means and. Make senses?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sharp. So meaning that, let's look at that. We see it's -3 and that, right? Let's go to our, I'm just showing you also a trick of doing this. If there are more than one question, where's our question paper?
Ma'am, can I
There
ask
it
something?
is. Yes.
So there was one thing I wasn't too sure about absolute values, right? Because in this case, there's two cases. One where it's -3 and the other where it's +3. In this case, you chose -3, and that's, you know, that X is elements of real numbers where it's not equal to -3. But in the
Yes.
other case, it'll be +3, so it would still apply. So how would you know which one to use? In that case, it'll be X.
No. Remember, this is not inequality. We're not talking about inequality such that you have the negative part and the positive part. We are just saying whatever is under the denominator should not be equals to 0. regardless of the inequality.
Okay.
So for this to be 0, what must happen? For this, because we know that for us, the denominator should not be equal to 0. For this to be 0, what must happen? It means that we need a number such that when you substitute here, any number, such that when you substitute for x, gives us 0. And in this case, when we substitute, we get what? -3, isn't it? So -3 plus 3 gives us 0. Therefore, it means that our denominator, which is this thing, will be 0 when x is equal to -3. That's why we are saying that x is an element of real number, but do not include -3, because if you include -3 in our domain in values of x, when it comes to drawing, your function will be undefined at that point.
Yes, and that part I understood. What I was confused about is the other case where, say, you use the other side of the case where now x will be not equals to 3, because you know the other side will be x minus 3. Now, for it to be undefined is if I use positive 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I think I'm not catching what you say.
Can I help you?
The function is an
What is
absolute.
saying?
He's trying to say, you see that is an absolute value at the bottom, right? He forgot that you have to distribute the negative on each term, where it's going to be negative x and -3. I think that is that what you are?
Yeah. Oh, so I must also distribute the negative to x as well, not just 3.
To everything inside the bars. You must distribute, because once you remove the bars, it becomes a positive or a negative. So now that negative, you must distribute it throughout.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense now. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So look at the solution. Thank you for helping. Now let's look at the function here. Do you see that solution? Let's go and check. Where is it, guys? Where is it? It's number 3 and guys,
Number 4.
And number 4, ma'am.
so it's number 3 and number 4. But you see it's also number 2 as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 2 is wrong. It's positive. It's 3 then. So cannot check number 2.
Thank you. So meaning that number 1 is wrong, number 2 is wrong. So it means, do you see how I'm answering my questions, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So meaning that D of G will then give us an option. So meaning that our answers is between number 3 and number 4. So then you go and say, okay, fine, I'm done with that one. Okay, so let's look at G of X, which is equals to x minus square root of 5 minus x over 2 minus 4. Before that, can I do this? Okay, let's look at this, guys.
Can you mute, please? You're causing mem to have echoes.
Someone must be muted, must mute. That's why I'm having echoes. Yeah, I think they muted. Yeah. Okay, guys. Now, what must we be careful here? Which part must we be careful?
The square root part.
Well done. The square. What do we know about the square root?
The number cannot be
Greater or equal to 0.
Thank you. Everything under the square root has to be greater or equals to 0. Are we all together? So meaning that the domain of G is equals to x element of real number such that everything, what is everything under the square root, is 5 minus x over 2 greater or equals to 0. Do you see that? Do we leave it like that?
No.
Guys, do we leave it like that?
No.
No.
Okay. Now let's simplify it. So then this is x element of real number such that we multiply by 2 both sides. So this is 5 minus x greater or equals to 0. So then this is equals to x. Sorry about that. So this is equals to x element of real number such that our minus x greater or equals to minus 5. Then this is equals to x element of real number such that because it's a negative. You know, when we divide by -1, divide by -1, because we want to make this x positive. So this is x, and the sign changes. This is less or equals to 5. Are we all together? But we know our notation. So how do I represent it in a form of a notation? Please help. D of g will be equals to what? Let's draw a number line for those who don't remember. 5 is here. Everything greater than 5 is where? Everything greater than, everything less than 5 is on the right or on the left?
On the left.
On the left.
On the left.
So then it's from what to what?
Negative
infinity.
Included or not included?
Included.
Included.
So meaning that
Included,
this
yes.
part of ours here will be what? From -infinity to 5. Are we all together? So let's go and see. Let's go and check an answer. Check our answer. Which one is it?
4.
Number 4.
4. You see how it's done?
Ma'am, can I ask?
Yes.
So when it says x less or equals to 5, our 5 needs to look for things that are less than 5, not greater than 5, because I think that's where we made the mistake.
You're saying our 5 is what?
For our 5, as our 5 is our, I can say our 5 is our focal point. It's the number that we're looking at. So must we look at, because it says x less or equals to 5. So we have to look at numbers that are less than 5, not greater than 5.
Well done. That's why I said to you, draw a number line, because sometimes it is confusing. Even me as well, I'll get it wrong.
Okay, then
that's why every time, guys, I said, learn how, do maths the way I taught you. Step by step has to make sense to you. That's why I draw a number line every time, because you will make mistakes. You're a human being, not an AI robot. Okay, so this is how you got it. Now, if I do this, what happens?
What do you mean, ma'am? Didn't we get our answer?
Ma'am,
What did
This
you
is
change?
the question.
I would still consider the x under the on the denominator. We would still have to equate that to not equal to 0.
Well done. Well done. So now there are two options here. Ne? We'll look at the intersection of the two. So we go through the whole thing. Do you see that? At first, we didn't have this. The intersection, we know that here, this function is x element of real numbers. So we don't have a problem. The only problem is here. Do you see that?
Yes,
but as soon as this thing changes, remember I said you go term to term, term by term. Now it's 1 over x. So you know that 1 over x should not be equals to 0. Okay, we have sorted this one. Let's go to the next term. This one, x, the square root of x should be greater or equals to 0, isn't it? So we know that this minus x over 2 should be greater or equals to 0. Are we all together?
Yes.
Now, because you're combining the whole function, one part says not equals to 0, the other part says equals to 0, you only go for the intersection. And the intersection is that this part should not be included, because the first part makes it that x should not be equals to 0. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, it means that this one will be the same except for this part, the equal part. So it'll be like
and
this.
that means it won't be included.
Well done. Because if you wait. Yes. Okay, there's something here I'm doing wrong. Okay, I did something wrong here. We need to look at the intersection. It won't be written like this.
Somebody should move.
Can someone mute, guys?
Can you mute, please?
Joe will keep to medium I.
Thank you for muting the person. Okay, now I just wanted to make you aware here, guys. Look at this. So d of g of x, right? D of g. It will be x element of real numbers, except that x should not be equals to 0. Do you see that? And this whole part here, 5x minus 5 over 2 minus 4 should be, so what am I saying? This one should be greater or equals to 0. My pen is no longer writing now. Greater or equals to 0. Do you see that? So meaning that now you need to find the intersection of these two. Because there's x not equals to 0 here and x greater or equals to 0. At some point, this part might be erased. Can someone go and do that? X not equals to 0 and 5 minus x over 2 should be greater or equals to 0. Go find the intersection of those two. Are you all together, guys? You'll see it's different from the actual question. Guys, are you hearing me or am I talking to myself?
We hear you, ma'am.
We hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh, okay, thank you. There I did make a mistake there. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Which one is the answer here, guys?
Yes? Can I ask? Since you were talking about intersection and all of that, your answer still remains on number 4, or we're changing it?
No, the answer will completely change because now you need to look at where both of them are cutting.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, that's what I said. I made a mistake by cancelling the what's this, the greater, the equal part. Now you need to look at the intersection. So it will completely change. You have to go now and draw the number line. Remember when we were doing composite function, we're looking at the intersections of the functions, of the domains of the functions. And when we are drawing those number lines, after drawing those number lines, we went and found the intersection. So now this question completely changed because you then have to go and look at the intersection because there are two functions in one function, which is forming which has now two domains, and you have to find the intersection because there's this part here and this part here. Now this part here, we know the domain is this one. This part here, we know the domain is that one. So now you then have to go and find the intersection. It's like when we had the function f of x and g of x, we said f of x plus g of x, what is the domain of it? You need to go and look at that. That is your assignment too, guys.
Oh.
You remember when we were finding the domains of f of x, g of x?
Isn't it the intersection of both?
That's why, remember those f of x plus g of x, f of x over g of x, f of x, g of x. You need to remember those.
So, ma'am, am I right if I say the domain is the open bracket negative infinity to 0, close the bracket not including 0, union not including 0 bracket to 5, and then including 5. That's the domain for the function.
Might be right.
Yeah.
But
You
wouldn't
might be
that be
right.
an issue because in the other domain it's greater
Less
than
than
or
1.
equals to?
Okay,
So
let's look at it then. So you're saying that g of x now is equals to 1 over x plus the square root of 5 minus x over 2 minus 4 plus 4. The 4 doesn't matter. Now we know the domain of G is equals to X element of real number, such that we know that X should not be equals to 0, and the square root, not the square root, everything under the square root, that is 5 minus X over 2, should be greater or equals to 0. Are we all together? So now let's simplify this. So X element of real number such that X is not equals to 0. And what's this? What's this? Help me. So this is 5 minus X greater or equals to 0. What did we get, guys? X element of real number such that X is not equals to 0. And did we get X less or equals to 5?
Equal to 5. Yes.
Yes. So then from here, we go and draw a number line. We start with this one, right? This part. We know that this part, we are saying not 0, so 0 is here. So 0 is here. Do you see where 0 is? So we're not including 0 for the first part. So meaning that our function, let's make it here. It will be from here, it will be defined here and defined here. The first part, isn't it? We are done with that one. Now let's look at this part over here. Do you see that? Now that part over there says 5. Where's 5? 5 is here. Ne? Now, X is less or equals to 5. Where's X? It's on the left-hand side, isn't it? All these values up to negative infinity. Do you see that? Where do the two lines cross?
Between 0 and 5.
0.
From negative infinity to 0, not including
Well
0.
done. Negative infinity to 0.
0 to 5.
Or
0,
0 to
0 to 5.
5.
Is 5 included or not?
Included. It's
Included.
included.
Well, do you see that now? Does it make
Yes,
sense,
ma'am.
guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Sharp, sharp. Let's move to the next one. That's here. Question 2. What was the answer? Guys, what was the answer? Some of the questions you sent, I'll do a small recording if I have time, or I'll just send the solution of that question. A full solution. Question 2, guys. What did you get as an answer?
Option 2.
It's option 2.
Option 2.
Yebo.
Yes.
Are you sure?
I would say option
I got
option
3. Option 3.
I got option
3. Option 3.
Yes.
Some people are saying option 2. Some people are saying option 3. I can say option 1 if I want, or I can say option.
Sorry, ma'am.
Mm.
Where can we get this question paper?
It's under your additional resources. It has been there since January.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, option 2 and option 3. You are confusing me. Tell me why. Tell me why. Because I see one is 1 solution and one is 2 solutions. Tell me why.
All right. I will explain option 2.
Yes.
After getting your values of X, you must go and substitute it into the original. The left-hand side must be the same with the right-hand side. If one of them is not the same, then you'll choose the correct one. Then when you substitute further, you won't able to get 0. But if you substitute 5 over 4, 5 over 4, you got 0. Then the correct solution is number 2.
Okay. Where are you currently based now? Where are you now? Which province are you in?
Mpumalanga, ma'am.
Mpumalanga. So let's say you want to go to Limpopo. You first go to Eastern Cape and then come back to Limpopo. That's how you answered me. It's correct, but you first went to Eastern Cape, in the Eastern Cape, and then went to Limpopo. You didn't go directly to Limpopo. Can someone tell me something else? He said everything 100%, but what else can you use?
Ma'am?
What else can you use?
For me, ma'am, I was just going to substitute the values and just check.
That's what he did as well. That's what he did as well.
Okay.
That's what he did as well. Okay. Shortcuts, guys. Shortcuts.
Ma'am,
Yes?
the other option, isn't it going to be solving for x?
Yes, they are solving for x, but they're saying that now they go and substitute because one has one. Do you see that your options, both of you guys are giving me different options. One is saying number 2, one is saying number 3. And if you notice, number 2 has one solution. And then they explained why they got the one solution. So whoever chose number 2, they might be right. Whoever chose number 3, they might be right. But who is 100% correct? So let's start.
100% correct.
Three.
Number 2. So you guys
Yes.
went and substituted.
Number 2.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
see.
Number 2.
So we know that f of x
Number
is
two.
equals to, we know that f of x is equals to 2x plus square root of 5x minus 6, right? Minus 3. And now they're asking you f of x is equals to 0. So what do? You then say 2x plus square root of, someone is disturbing me, equals to 0. So then you take the others to the other side. So this is 5x minus 6 equals to, this is what? 3 minus 2x. Then you square both sides. You square both sides. So this is 5x minus 6 is equals to 9 minus 2 times 2 is 4 minus 12x plus 4x squared. So let's write it properly. So this is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 minus 5x plus 6 equals to 0. You'll tell me when I'm wrong, guys. So this is 4x squared minus 17x plus 15 is equals to 0. Am I right? So far, so good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Help, guys. Remember, you're not using calculators. Help me. How do I do this?
Use the quadratic formula.
So you can
What
use a
is
quadratic formula without
Yeah.
using a calculator.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Then
Or
or
you
you complete the square.
Oh, that's a good one as well. But that's long.
Or you
That's a good one.
You
Factorize.
factorize.
Yes, I want the factorizing part. Because the two are a bit long for me. I want the factorizing. What do I say?
Ma'am,
The
you
4x.
Yes.
I'm not getting the same equation as you.
you
You're not getting the same equation as me. Guys, am I right? Because remember, I'm also human. I'm making mistakes. Did I solve correctly?
Ma'am,
4x.
Yeah, right,
I
ma'am.
got the same
Yes,
equation
ma'am,
as you.
right.
All right, ma'am.
You're right.
Okay. Now let's focus on the factorization then. Or the way you will do it. Give me answers. X is equals to what?
5/4.
5/4.
Hi. Factorize. Let's factorize. For someone who will start watching this video January next year, they might not be as advanced as you guys are now. January next year, first year from
Gonna-
from
Ma'am,
matric.
I will not going to
4x minus 5 and x
Open
minus
brackets
3.
2x minus 5.
What?
Maybe it's 2x minus 3, the first two brackets, and then the others is 2x minus 5.
2x minus 3.
No. And then 2x minus 5.
Minus 5.
No.
It should be 4x
Minus
4x minus
4x
5.
minus 5, x minus 3.
Guys, I need you guys to make sure you understand your factorization. 4x minus 5, and the other one is
5.
X minus
3.
Can you please go and try to factorize this? If you don't know how to factorize that, you will send me an email. Maybe I'll make a video on how to factorize that, just to remind you your grade 10 work. This one here, if you're having a problem, this one here. So now the answer is 4x minus 5 is equals to 0, or x minus 3 is equals to 0. Therefore, x is equals to 5 over 4, or x is equals to 3. Can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am, ask.
Yes, ma'am.
When you are doing grade 12, the first question was quadratic equation. It was x squared plus 2x plus c, for example, equals to 0. You solved that one. Did you go back and substitute? Be honest.
No.
No.
No,
ma'am.
Yes,
No, ma'am.
And your answer was always like this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why not? Why didn't you go and substitute? But with this particular question, whenever you want to go and substitute.
Ma'am, can you scroll back to the main equation?
Yeah, it says solutions. It says find solution.
Even that one, you were finding solution. Remember, you were saying ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. And then you say x is equals to 1 or x is equals to 2. You never went back and substituted. Let's be honest.
I think now, ma'am, it's because of we have a root on 5x minus 5, which means our quadratic have to have a, what do they call it? The exponent of 2. But on this one, we are being restricted of that root. So something that is under this the square roots. I think, I'm not sure, something those like.
Brenda, you were getting it. The reason why you went back, you guys were butchering maths. The reason why you didn't go back and you were right, it was because the domain, what is the domain of this function? Y is equals to x squared plus 2x plus 1. What is the domain of that function? X element of real numbers.
X is an element of
So
real
meaning
numbers.
that whatever value of x you get is the answer. Makes sense?
Yeah.
That's why you guys were getting it right all along. Makes sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what is the domain of this function that you see over here? What is the domain of this?
5x minus 6 supposed to be greater than or equal to 0.
5x minus 6 supposed to be greater or equals to 0. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, 5x should be greater or equals to 0. I mean 6. Over 5 over 5. So x should be greater or equals to 6 over 5. So meaning on the number line, conclude, guys. Conclude. Guys, I need conclusions.
Ma'am, can I ask, so on the number line, our x, every number that is above 6 over 5. should it be every number? Sorry for putting it wrong. Should our domain be every number above 6/5?
Every number above 6/5. Can you please check that? Can you please check that, guys? That's what I'm saying. Why are some people saying 2? Why are some people saying 3? Because look at your domain. Your domain is saying 5 minus x greater than 0. So we know that everything under the square root should be what? Should be greater than 0. So therefore, it means the answer will be x greater or equals to
6/5.
Yes, 6/5. What is 6/5? 6/5 is 1 comma something.
1,2.
And then if we look at those things of ours, what is it?
Both of them.
Is it both of them, guys?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we please think about our answers? Is it both of them? Because someone said, if I substitute 5/2, then I don't get the answer. Which one is which?
It's both of them, ma'am.
Both of them.
Now, if you substitute them, you get 0. Both of them.
The only answer that gives me 0 is 5/4.
Ma'am,
So the only
equation. We have an equation, right? It's equals to 0.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If it was by f of x, right, like that, all of them are suitable. But now the thing that is now restrict us is equals to 0. So whatever is on the left is equals to be on the right. That's why we're choosing only solution 5/4. Because if you put 3, it's imbalance. Now the left side is no longer equal to 0.
So therefore the answer is
5/4.
Option 2, ma'am.
There we go. Because now, if you consider the domain as well, it might give you both solutions. Guys, it's quite confusing, I know.
So we should always consider also the domain and also the solutions.
Substituting into the equation, yes. Especially if you have a square root. So these are the things that you need to look at. If you have 1/x, if you have a square root, if you have a log, something. What else? Yes. And then in trig, if you have your trig functions, sine x, y, cos x, and whatsoever. So if you have this, then you need to consider the restrictions, look at the restrictions, look at the substitution. All together, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's look at question 3. Which one? Question 3. By looking at the answers, which one is wrong? By just looking at the answers, which one is wrong?
Number 3.
Number 2, ma'am.
Okay. Now looking at the question, which one is right? Guys,
Number 4. Number 4, ma'am.
Number 4 is right.
I think 1 is right. I think.
You think 1 is right. Someone else? From what you have solved, which one is right? Guys, You guys solve these problems. Which one is right? From what you have solved, which one is right? Let's go.
Option 1.
Option?
Option 1.
Option 1.
Did you all say option 1? Guys, me, I'm saying option 2.
Yes, the correct answer is in the option 2. X is greater than -2 and less than 0.
How did you do that?
You must just find the value of X. Then after that, you go and substitute there. Then the left-hand side must be the same with the right-hand side.
How
Because
do you
of
find
now,
the value of X?
all right.
Help us.
All right. I've said log of log
Okay,
of
let's.
X plus 2.
So, wait, sorry. There are people who said it's number 2. There are people who say, there's one person who says number 1. And everyone says number 2. I mean, so there's one person who says number 2. Everyone says number 1. Is that what we are agreeing on?
Yes, ma'am.
Before we go to number 2, can we start with those with number 1? How did you get to number 1? Sorry about disturbing you. I just want to see. How did you get number 1?
Okay, ma'am. I said log 2, then open bracket X plus 2.
X plus 2.
Plus log 2. Plus
Mhm.
log 2, open bracket X plus 4, close bracket, plus 1 less than 4.
Well done. That's where we start. Then
I say log 2, open bracket X plus 2, close bracket, then open bracket X plus 4, close bracket, less than 4 minus 1.
why did you do that?
I don't know. I was just solving.
Multiply.
Ma'am,
The log. The rule.
Well done. We know that log of A plus log of B is the same as log of A times B. Thank you. Then
Log 2, open bracket X plus 2, close bracket, then open bracket X plus 4, close bracket, less than 3.
okay, let's continue. Well done. So it's log of X plus 2, X plus 4 base 2 less than 3. Then what?
Then open bracket X plus 2, close bracket, open bracket X plus 4, close bracket, less than 2 to the power of 3.
Why did you do that?
Because like there is another rule of removing log. Then you have to help me, God, help me, ma'am. Like you, like
You
I was
want
just
me to help you?
I was removing log. I'm not good at explanation. I'm not good at explaining.
Oh, you want me to help you? I helped you already during classes. Now you need to help me.
I'm not good in explaining. Like I'm good on writing.
Yes, please help her. Please help her. What's that?
Multiply the brackets.
No. She want
to exponentiate both sides so that on the right.
The base remains the base.
Guys, you guys are singing too. You are all singing. You are all singing.
Sorry, man.
Yes.
I think she's turning the log to exponential.
Guys, this is chapter 2. No, chapter 4, ne? This is chapter 4. Do you remember the relationship between log and exponents? If you open your textbook, I don't know where on page what, but there's a relationship between log and exponent. I'm not setting things that are not there in your textbook. The relationship between log and exponents.
The base remains the same, and then the answer of something, we just swap the answer becomes
well done. Well done. Well done. That relationship, you should use it here. Okay, we know that if I have an exponential function like this, a to the power of x, there is a relationship between an exponential function as well as logarithmic, I don't know, logarithmic function. And what do we do to the exponential function to get the logarithmic function? Who remembers that? Guys, what do we do to the exponential function to obtain a logarithmic function?
We say log s
Keep
of
our
x.
base the same.
Guys, the log function, y is equals to log of a x. This is what to this? Guys, I will ask you such questions in the exam. Yes.
Isn't it an inverse?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's the inverse of this function. So the relationship between an exponential function and the log function is that one is the inverse of the other. And when we do inverses, what do we do? One of the steps, what do we do with the x and y?
We swap them.
We swap them. So meaning that if your original log function is log of ax like this, then we swap them. The x becomes the y and the y becomes the what? The x.
X.
Do you see that? So meaning that this is the relationship that they are talking about. What remains the same is the base. In the exponent, the base remains the same. In the log, the base remains the same. Right? Are we all together? Now, let's look at this expression. What do we have? What is this expression? What do we have? We have a log or an exponent?
A log.
A log. It means we are here, isn't it?
Yes.
Are we all together? Since we are there,
Yes, ma'am.
we know that according to this is y. Ne? Do you see that?
Yes.
And this is x. According to this. So this is x and this is y. Right? Now, we know that for us to be able to solve this, we need to use this relationship. So therefore, it means that now this becomes, we use this part here, right? Y, what is y? We said our y is equals to what? In this case, from the expression here, what is our y?
X plus 2.
X plus 2 and x plus 4.
Right? Less than what?
2
Our base
Our
to the
base
power 3 is 2
done.
to the power
Our
3.
base to the power of
3.
Because this is the x. Do you see the relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, then this becomes x plus 2, x plus 4 less than 8. Then what do I do now?
Yep.
Guys, what do I do?
Multiply the bracket.
Multiply the brackets.
Okay, multiply the brackets. Give me answers then.
X squared plus 6x plus 8.
Plus 8.
8. Minus
Say
8
minus.
less than
Okay, then we have
X squared plus 6x.
X squared plus 6x. Less than 0.
Okay. Now, I'm continuing with the person who said number 1, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So we're saying x squared, is it plus 6 or minus 6? Hey guys, I'm tired.
Plus
Sorry.
6.
X squared plus 6x.
X less than 0.
Is it less than?
Yes, less than.
Then what do we get?
Common factor.
Okay, so that is what?
X is equals to 0 or X is equals to -6.
Call them critical values because it's what? It's the absolute value function 6 and
-6 and 0.
okay, so the answer will be
0 and -6.
so if you put it on the number line, let's put it on the number line, guys. And 0, isn't it? We know this is plus, this is minus, this is plus, right? Guys,
no,
you forgot inequalities.
Yes, ma'am, you're right.
Then what's the answer then?
The answer is from the answer is, I don't agree with the one though, but on there you get -6 is less than x less than 0. Then you have to go back and see your
wait. Me, I'm working with those who said number 1. So they said it's what? Less than 6 and less than 0. And they were happy, right?
Yes, I was happy.
Guys, everyone is writing on their own. Those who said number 1, you are happy because you did this, isn't it?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, well done. How? Now, those who say number 2, why did you say, no, number 1 is wrong? Why did you say that?
Because me, I went back to my original equation.
Thank you.
My domain is restricted. So I cannot have values which are less than -2.
So how was your domain restricted? Let's start there. How was your domain restricted?
My x has to be greater than -2.
Okay, let's go back to the function. Here's the function, right? Ne? So you're saying your x has to be greater than? Friend, I'm listening.
Wait, the x4.
I'm going to the ones who are saying 2 because those who said 1, they didn't, guys, did you see the maths? Was there wrong maths there?
X plus 2 greater than 0.
Hey, let's talk about those who did number 1. They are happy, isn't it? The maths was flowing.
Yeah.
Now let's go to those who yes, how? Let's go to those who said number 2 now. Why are you saying number 2? Because number 1 is what I got. According to what we are doing here. Why are you saying number 2? Because of what? Brenda, you and there's a gentleman. You guys need to justify why you're saying number 2. Because number 1 people, they got their answer. And it's there on the options. Those who said number 2, guys, we need to hear why you are saying number 2.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Since we have logs there and the number 1 people said the answer is for -6, and if I'm right, I think the domain of the log says anything in front of a log has to be greater than 0. Would number -6?
You're saying anything in what?
The log, the domain of a log says anything in front of a log.
In front.
Yes, in front of a log.
Like, in front. Let's fix the English. In front.
Something like -x plus 2 over there. So x
in front.
Guys,
let's fix that English.
The argument, ma'am. You have to be greater than 0.
Than 0. So if they're saying minus, they're saying -6 is less than x, does that mean -5 would fit? I'm asking the number one people, like according to the domain.
Number one people, they raise a point here, which is very valid. Because she chose number 5, which is in your domain, in the interval. She substitutes number 5 there into the equation and it gives her an error. So are you still happy with your question, with your answer?
Ma'am?
She's saying that she chooses number -5 because it's between what you are given there, right?
Okay.
She's choosing the that one because it's actually in your interval. She's choosing -5, and she says I go and substitute -5 in between here. I substitute -5, I substitute -5. And in the first one, you say if you say -5 plus 2, you get -3. And according to the domain of the log function, anything under the domain, anything under the square, the log should not be negative. So are you still happy with number 1?
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So actually here, we're not actually solving for x, but then we always have to consider the domain, since this is a function, right? We're not solving for x, because with number 1, I think we solved for x. Am I wrong or right?
Guys, I need help. Isn't that the saying we're revising, we're discussing?
You need help with what, ma'am?
I need help with what she's saying.
What did she say?
You always have to consider the domain, because it makes it tells you if your function is valid or not.
Just apply the same principle we did on the function where we're saying equal to 0 on the quadratic.
They said h at x must be less than 4.
Yes.
So we got 0 and -6.
Yes.
So is not option 1 correct? Because if you put 0 there in the equation, you get 4. I don't know. Because
it's not going to be correct.
X must be less than 4.
But remember, you're dealing with logarithm. If you put -5 on the log base 2 of x plus 2, you're going to have an undefined.
Yeah, like when when you are discussing.
When you put 0 on.
We put minus. You see, an argument of a logarithm is to be always greater than 0. So if you take, okay, let's take it step by step. Log base 2 of x plus 2, the argument has to be greater than 0. So your x have to be greater than -2. Then your log base 2 of x plus 4, your argument is going to be x is supposed to be greater than -4. So we'll find, if you go to the answer that you do everything correct, like the way we did until we get here of -6 less than x less than 0. Then you have to find the overlap, the intersection, because if you put everything that is -5, -3, -4, -3 on that equation on h of x, before we say less than 4 there, it's going to give us an error. Then if you bring the 4 there, you take the domain, we find that the most restrictive is x is greater than -2. So that is the intersection of the log base 2 x plus 4 and log base 2 x plus 4. Our restrictive domain is going to be x supposed to be greater -2. So that's why I say option 1 is not going to work for me. I'll go with the second one.
Did it make sense?
But don't we consider the exponential, the inverse of the logarithm is the exponential? Don't we consider also that?
The domain matters before you solve the equation. Before you find the solution, you have to know where your function is defined.
Okay.
I know we are not allowed to use a calculator. To those who are struggling, take your calculator and put log base 2 minus 5 plus 2. Then you put everything less than 4. You're gonna see what it gives you. Then you put minus 2 less than x less than 0 values. You see it will come out right.
Ma'am, I don't agree with -2 because the restrictions for log base 2x plus 2, you can't put a -2 there. It's going to give you...
There's no equal to there, Anel. There is no equals to. There's less.
Oh, well, Brenda, it's not me.
Ma'am, I go with number 3.
You sound
the
like
who's number 3 and number 4.
Guys, this is your exam. That's what I wanted. The reason why I opened this platform is because I want you to look at the solutions. Because if you're missing something, you will get the answer to what you're missing.
Sorry,
if you are missing a concept, you'll definitely get it in the... Do you see how the questions are?
Sorry, ma'am, to interject. Someone said he doesn't agree with -2. You see, when we're saying on question number 1, ma'am was saying, is it included when we're using the brackets and the 4 corner brackets? So this one, when it comes to inequality, there is less than. When you're saying -6 is less than, which means -6 is excluded. But if you put the equal sign at the bottom, which means now it's included. So we are saying -2 excluded, then x less than 0 also is excluded. So just trying to make some.
Guys, I want you to there's someone who's saying answer 1, there's someone who's saying answer 2. The gentleman who was saying answer 2, please help us. Yes. What's your name? Guys, you should mention your name. I can't see your names. What's your name? Guys, help me. He's lost. Where is he? Did he log out? Because it's Brenda and him who said answer number 2. Help me.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Joannis, they're talking about you.
Joannis, it's you. Come.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yes.
I remember last time when we had a class and we were solving a problem similar to this. You told us that we must first look for check the domains and the restrictions before, and then you, if I remember correctly, since we are given this problem, we are supposed to say x plus 2 equals to 0, and then I don't remember very well, but yeah, it's x plus 2 equals to 0, and then you transpose the 2 to, and then it will be negative. And then because the restriction says age of x is less than 4. I'm lost.
Guys, you can't be lost. You can't be lost. You cannot be lost. You cannot be lost. Because remember, I said, you need to be careful because what happened is the solution that you're looking at will be there in the exam. Look at that. If you miss something, you just said exactly, I said, look at the domain, but now what's going on?
Ma'am, can I ask about number 3, ne? Because it says x is greater than -2, which is similar to number 2. It's just that number 2, actually, it's the same thing according to me. Would you also be wrong? Because you can use -1, you're going to get an answer. You can use, with 0, you're going to get a 4. But with -1, you're going to get something that is less than 4.
So you're saying number 2, number 1 and number 2 are correct?
No, I'm saying number 2 and number 3.
Number 2 and number 3 are correct.
According to what I'm understanding.
So, ma'am, can I say
Someone is
something?
raising now issues. I'm here for us to see how the exam will be. So you tell me. I'm listening. Yes.
Can I ask the number one people again.
Yes.
After we went from the log when we after the argument of the log that you have to say 2 to the power of 3 equals to x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4, right? No, it's 2 log base 2 of the whole thing is less than 3 after we moved the minus 1 to the other side. So from there we went and said 2 to the power of 3 is equals to x squared, x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4. After that, after we said we had x squared plus 4x plus 2x is less than 0. When we have an equality, and then we went on to have x squared plus 6x is less than 0. When we have an equality, that step becomes two cases because we have a multiplication and we also have an inequality. So the part where we were going to get x less than 0 is if x is less than 0 and x plus 6 is greater than 0, or x is greater than 0 and x plus 6 is less than 0. So from there, they were supposed to separate it into two cases and then find the intersection. They wouldn't have found minus 6 and 0. They would have found minus 2 and 0 because that's the solution.
Did you understand what she said? Guys, did you understand what she said?
Please explain the last part of 2, somewhere 2.
Yes.
Please explain it to me.
So after we had x squared plus 6x less than 0, we factored out x, and then we were left, I factored out x, I don't know if you factored out x, and then we had x into x plus 6 is less than 0. So that was where the two cases came in, because we have to find where the equation is less than 0, and it's given if x is less than 0 and x plus 6 is greater than 0. That will give us the equation that is negative. If one solution is negative and the other one is positive, we're definitely going to have a negative number, a negative solution. So that's why we get two cases. And then we have another case where x is greater than 0 and x plus 6 is less than 0. That will also give us a negative number, because we are looking for the part where the equation is less than 0. So from there, we would find that the solution in itself would be from negative 6 to 0, and then the other one would be from minus 2 to positive infinity. That's what I got. And then I found the intersection of them, and I drew the number line. So my solution was from negative 2 to 0, not including both of them.
Guys, can I try to go in, to get in? Eh?
Please.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yes,
Yo.
Number one people, are you right? Ma'am, it seems like you just throw them in a zombie apocalypse now. No, it's because the questions are like this, guys. If you miss something, then it will give you a solution that is there. Okay, in simpler terms, I think what Motai was saying is you find an intersection of the domain and the solution that you got when you're solving the quadratic. Okay, now let's look at this, right? Let's look at this first. Before even solving, what's the domain of this? Let's look at that first. Guys? X is greater than minus 2, ma'am. X is greater than minus 2. And
X
and
is greater than
minus
minus 2.
minus 4. Do you see that?
Yes.
But now, remember I said there's an and. Once you say and, because you said there's a function and a function, it takes us back to f of x plus g of x. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you consider your f of x, just I'm just making an example. Don't take into consideration this one. Let's say f of x was like this. G of x was like this, where it's log of 2 and x plus 4. If you have these two functions and you add them, you get this function. Are we correct? Right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we said that the domain of f of x plus g of x is what? Chapter 2. The domain of f of x plus g of
Intersection
x.
of the domain, ma'am.
Thank you. The intersection of the domain. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if it's the intersection of the domain, we have, if we say that this part, let's say this part is g of x and this part over here is f of x, then we find the domain, which is this part, and this part now. So meaning that we need to find the intersection of these. Well done. So then you go and find the intersection of the domain, which is what?
X
You
is
draw.
greater than -2.
So your negative minus 4 is here. So meaning that when you draw, they say x is greater than 4, it goes this side. Minus 2 is here, right? When you draw that domain, this domain here, it starts from here, not including 2 going that side. So the intersection is what? It's x greater than
X is
negative
greater
2.
than -2.
So meaning that if you write it in a notation, it will be from what? From -2 to positive infinity. Are we all together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the number 1 people, you saw how you got your answer, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So you got your answer when you said, let me remember correctly.
What happened to ma'am, guys?
I also wanted to ask that question.
I think she left the meeting.
Maybe by mistake.
Eskom, load sharing.
No, she's not in the meeting. She's back now.
Apologies, the laptop switch off, I'm back. I was saying number 1 people, everything you did was correct, but you missed a point. Right? Are we together?
Yes. Yes,
So
ma'am.
you did everything correct, but you missed a point. You missed to go and check the domain of the function. Do you see that? Now that you know, are we all together? Now that you know the domain of the function is this one. Do you see that?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
go and find the intersection between what you found and this one. So let's go and draw. Let's draw this one. So this is -6 and 0. Let's put 0 here. -6 and 0. It's here, right? This is what you solve for. But because we are dealing with logarithm, you don't forget the domain of the actual. Where is that part? It's here. It's -2 to infinity. Do you see that? Let's see the intersection. So from -2 to infinity. Where do they intersect?
At
From
-2 and 0.
-2 and 0.
Yeah.
So your answer is?
Meaning during the exam, we are there is no need to solve the equation like the way I did on option 1.
The thing is, let me tell you something. This is how look at, I'm even giving you tricks. When you solve, when you have questions like this, here I knew you will miss the domain of the function. Here, I knew you will miss the domain of the function. And if someone missed the domain of the function, they get this answer. So they think they got it correct. Some people only look at the domain. I knew that some people will only look at the domain of the function. That's why I gave this solution. And whoever took into consideration everything gets the solution. So if you miss something, you'll get your answer. It will be here, but it won't be correct. Makes sense?
Yes. So, ma'am, if they hadn't said for x element of dh, where dh is the domain of h, well, we were right to put number 1 if they didn't say for x element of dh.
But when you're solving, you need to consider the domain. Consider the domain, then substituting the values. But for this case, it's inequalities as well. So you see, especially when they restrict, they say did this. It means domain is very important, guys.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Can I move on? Now, number 1, are you happy now that the answer is number 2, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And number 2, well done. Okay, let's go to this one. Which one is the answer? Question 4.
Option 2.
Option 2.
It's option 3.
Option 3. Option 3.
Option 3.
Option 3. You're saying option 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. To option 3.
Why are you getting one answer though? Help me.
Because the other one you didn't put it.
Yeah.
I didn't put it.
Yes.
You guys.
Excuse my English. So the other,
So
you see on option 4, ma'am.
Yes.
You put the other one correct, then the other one you put wrong because you knew people were gonna expect two solutions. So yeah, you're very good in that, doing that.
Okay. You see, they're telling me I'm very good. I don't care whether I made a mistake or I didn't make. As long as they say I'm very good, hey, I'm happy.
Unless your idea was to put them correct and then you made a mistake, but your mistake was good enough because there was still a solution.
Okay, guys, remember there's also a none of the above option. So I don't put it here because remember the examiner needs to
Please don't bring that none of the above.
No, it has to be there. It has to be there. It has to be there because okay, guys, let's start here. Let's start this one. Yeah,
yo, man, you're really cooking this exam paper, yo.
2 number 3. This is 2021. So number 2, number 3, isn't it? That's what you guys are saying. And you are confident, very confident, isn't it, in yourselves? Guys, are you confident? You need to be confident. What's wrong with you guys today? You are confident. You know, me, if I make mistakes, I'll blame it on you. Of course. So, let's go to the question. Where do I start? Please help me. Please help me. Help. Please be my Romeo. Come on. Where do I start?
By rewriting 12e to the power minus x.
Minus x.
Is what?
Write it as 12 multiplied by 1 over e to the power of x.
Okay, then? Then? After? Then what do I do? Guys, are you still there? Is my network
Yes,
not
ma'am.
working? Then what do I do?
Then
Let equals
what
to
I did, I let
x.
the x equals to k.
So you say you let e to the x equals to k. Guys, help me here. I know you did it. Does it mean this exam was very hard in 2021?
Ma'am.
It wasn't. Yes.
Right. The step number 1. I'll write e of x plus 12 divided by e of x. I'll make exponent to be positive and minus 7 equals to 0. I'll make exponent of x be positive.
How are you going to make it?
Right. It's e of x plus 12 divided by e of x minus 7 equals to 0. Then
Guys, what?
After that,
yes.
And after you take out the CM, lowest common denominator, is e of x. Then e of x into 1 is e of x times e of x is e of 2x. Then e of x into e of x is 1 times 12. 12. E of x into 1 is e of x. Then times minus 7 is minus 7 e of x is equals to 0. Then after I cross multiply, I remove the fraction. I'll end up having e of 2x minus 7 e of x plus 12 is equals to 0. Then factors of 12.
Okay.
When I
add. Wait. Well done. So you end up with e to the power of 2x minus 7 e to the power of x plus 12 equals to 0.
Then factors of 12, when I add them or subtract, it's 3 and 4, because 3 plus 4 is 7, 3 times 4 is 12. After that, I check the middle sign, it's minus. Therefore, and also the third sign, the third sign. Therefore, I'll put minus 3 and minus 4. E of x minus 3 and the minus 4 is equals to 0.
Well done. Well done. Wait. Well done. Did anyone hear what he did?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone want to see an easy way?
Yes, please.
So just multiply by e to the power of x, guys. I see.
That's what I did, ma'am. That's what I did.
For
I was
me,
afraid.
guys, I didn't even, let me tell you something. I was like, for me, I know this question from an assignment, and therefore I need to get a 2x somewhere. So if I multiply by e to the power of x, what happens? Guys, this is a question from an assignment. It's not different and what. It's a question from an assignment. It might not have looked like this, but in the assignment you had e to the power of 2x. Do you see that? So meaning that you could have looked at it like that as well. You see, a shorter way. So well done, gentlemen, for getting it. Me, I'm great. The way you're thinking, it's good. Me, I was going to do this. Multiply e to the power of x. So I say multiply by e to the power of x. Then I multiply this whole thing. Plus 12 e to the power of negative x minus 7 equals to e to the times x. You know what you do on your left, you do on your right, isn't it? Right? So then this times that, this is e to the power of 2x plus, when you add the when you multiply, you add the exponent. So e to the power of x minus x plus negative x is equals to e to the power of 0. So this gives you 12 minus 7 e to the power of x is equals to 0. So then e to the power of x minus 7 e to the power of x plus 12 equals to 0. That's what Johannes was saying. Okay, he didn't do it like this, but This is where he got. Are we all together when we are there?
Yes,
Guys?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you can use the K method if you want, but you know if you treat this as an X, this is an X, then you know that every time, isn't that you open bracket, you put X here, you put X here. So meaning that you'll put e to the power of X here and e to the power of X here. What are the factors there? The factors are 4 and 3, isn't it? So then you say, are they negative, negative, or positive, minus, or what? Give me the factors, guys. What were the factors?
Negative.
Negative. Right? So then this is equals to 0. So this is e to the power of x minus 4 equal to 0, or e to the power of x minus 3 is equals to 0. Now keep quiet. I shall continue this on your behalf. So this is e to the power of x, which is equals to 4, or e to the power of x, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 3. Therefore, e to the power of x, I can write it as, okay, because I'm solving for x, I can take the ln of e to the power of x is equals to 4. I need to take the ln this side. Or if I'm writing nonsense, please stop me. Ln of 3. All right? Now I know this is x to the power of ln of 4, or x is equals to ln of 3. Now, because for some reason, I just wake up and feel. So I said this is x is equals to, I know that 4 is the same as 2 squared, right? So then this is equals to 2 ln of 2. Are we all together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we all together, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the square root of 3 squared?
3.
Oh, thank you very much. So then I said, or x is equals to ln the square root of 3 squared is equals to 2 ln of square root of 3. Therefore, x is equals to 2 ln of 2, or x is equals to 2 ln of square root of 3. Can someone say something?
Oh my God!
What?
Ma'am, are you sure you are sober when you're taking this exam?
Ma'am, how did you come up with square root 3? Please explain.
Oh, ma'am, please go back. Please go back, ma'am. Go back. Go back.
Wait,
Go
something's
back.
wrong.
Go,
Let's go back. Ay, ay, ay,
go
ay.
back. Go back. Go back. Ma'am,
No,
Ma'am,
you
please explain on x
made me.
x equal to ln open bracket square root of 3, then close bracket and squared. Like, can you please
No,
explain
ma'am,
it?
you Robert on
Over
square root
there?
of 3 there. X is equals to ln square root of 3. There's no square root there.
You made mistake,
Can you,
ma'am.
yeah, I need more explanation
Robbers.
there.
No, ma'am, you robbers.
no, ma'am.
Said, what is the square root of 3 to the power 2?
It's 3.
Miss
Three.
Ronyesa. Oh,
Going
yeah,
to
but
3.
Me, this is how I was thinking. I was like, if my students changed 4 to 2 to the power of 3, then I can change 3 to square root of 3 to the power of 2.
Yo, I remember you.
Yo.
Ah, ma'am. I disagree. Oh. I
Hey, this is
disagree.
magic right here.
Oh.
What?
Ma'am. No.
Sure.
No, ma'am.
Logically, you are correct, but this is emotional damage.
Sure. Yo, ma'am.
No,
You
ma'am.
making
No,
magic here.
no, ma'am. No.
You guys said you wanted revision. I'm giving you tips of what I'm doing here. I'm giving you the whole exam. I'm literally giving you how I think when I sit alone. It's danger. I am
Man, this
telling
is
you.
dangerous, yo.
Guys, then
It's Russian.
do you want us to
pass? Yeah?
No, I want you to pass. I want you
Yo, I'm
to
more
make
confused
No,
than when I
man,
answer.
no.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Okay, moving to the next question. Shy. Shy.
You sign yourself in.
You to think from the day one. I told you
Brother
to think how I
Enima.
think. I told you to think like a real mathematician.
Sure.
Okay, so everyone is wrong here. So those who were confident, very confident in 2, and those who were very confident in 3, they were all very confidently in wrong because the answer is option 4.
Sure.
Don't worry, it's a up and down. The waves come and they leave. You know how you get excited when the wave comes and hits you. Now, question
how did we get
yes.
the line of 3?
Huh?
How did we get the line of 3? I mean, the line of square root of 3.
The change 2 to the power of 2 is 4, isn't it? You this one, right? I'm asking you,
Yes.
what is the square root of 3 to the power of 2? Is 3. So I just changed this part, this 3 to this.
Okay. Now we see.
Let me breathe. Question 5. By the way, I was insulted. We'll talk off record. And I know there were people who attended that class. My first year attended that class. I will give you a problem. Let's talk off record. Don't worry. All is well. All is well.
No, ma'am, not all is well, yo. The way you start questions, you're making us nervous now.
I'm traumatized.
No, don't be traumatized, guys. Listen, it's not all questions. Some questions are like this one. Look at question 5, and it's 4 marks. Don't you? You see, you will pass. You will get your
think
A.
I can trust you, ma'am.
Can I ask something, ma'am? So each and every question is gonna have a different weight.
Yes.
Shy?
Because remember, I can't ask you for example, I can't give you 5 marks for theory. You see?
So, ma'am, are we supposed to show our calculations, or we can
Your calculations will be on a piece of paper. Bring all the piece of papers. You bring all your piece of paper where you will write, where you will do your rough work.
So okay, when I answer this question paper, am I supposed to say question 4 and then write the answer, which is x is equals to 2 ln what? And
you
then
see how you
on the
wrote
side,
you see how you wrote your assignment 1 and 5?
yeah.
Just like that.
So you just do your calculations and then you put the answer at the bottom.
Yes.
Also,
but remember, you are doing maths. So you think. You think.
So I thought maybe we just do the calculations on the side and then you just write the answer.
Yeah. You click, you're like,
so you're marking us based on our workings then. So our workings actually have a crucial thing for that 4 marks.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm marking according to your work, and that's why the marks are not extremely huge, and the way I set my questions. Because, yeah, don't worry.
The exam is
The exam?
It's not a quiz.
The quiz.
It's a quiz.
This is not a quiz.
People are confusing past papers.
I'm confused.
You see, remember this paper that you are sharing now. It has other options that there was no option to choose A, B. And I think there's another question where they are saying show all your working. So you have to upload. Half it was quiz, and other part you have to work like, right? So you have to upload a PDF. So people are getting confused on how.
No. This is completely
ABC. Choose.
And there's a guy, I'll give you his name, who wrote this paper. He used to bother me a lot, this guy. You know, he used to bother me a lot. By bother me, he's like, ma'am, every week. Number 2, how do you, okay, I did number 2. This is how we do it. Please mark it. Then I mark it. I second, ma'am. And then he got over 80. So that's why I'm saying that he wrote this paper. I won't give you his name though. You bother him. He's in BSc now. So can we continue, guys?
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Don't be quiet. I'm here. I am here. And I'm still setting the exam, you see? It's not yet uploaded. I'm still feeling, tasting the questions, and I'm using all my fun. No, I'll have Messi, guys. Messi's there. Look at this question.
Go see
Ma'am, please show mercy honestly on the paper. Go
Yes.
easy on us. It's not easy.
I know. Been there, done it. A straight line EB cuts the parabola. Y is equals to 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 at E and B. And if n is parallel to y plus x equals to 0, find the coordinates of A and B. What are the A and B?
A is negative half and 0. And then B is 2 and 0.
We all get that?
Yes, ma'am. Option 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well done. So we know that if we start to write it, we know that the first thing we notice that A and B are x-intercept. We know that on the x-intercept, all the y values are 0. That's why we say x-intercept. We say let y is equals to 0. So meaning from this equation, we then say 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equals to 0. Now, help me factorize.
2x
plus 1.
Plus 1. X minus 2 is equals to 0. Therefore, x is equals to negative 1 over 2, or x is equals to 2. Now, it makes sense that negative half is here, isn't it? And it makes sense that 2 is here. So meaning that A will be what? Will be negative 1 over 2 and 0. And B will be 2 and 0. So that one wasn't hard, isn't it? You got your 4 marks there. You see? So which one is it here, guys? This one.
Option 4.
Thank you. Question 6. There we go. What are they saying? Find what?
Coordinates of C.
What is C?
Minus 2.
Well done. C is the y-intercept because we know all x here are zeros. So that's why we say let x is equals to 0, the y-int. So where we see x, we put 0. So squared minus 3, 0, minus 2. This is equals to minus 2. So we then go. They said C, sorry. So minus 0 and minus 2. Where 0 and minus 2, it's this 1, it's this. Some people forget their signs for some reason. So I give you that option in case you forget. I give you, and then you choose it. And then you complain, hey, me, I want remarking. Me, I want remarking. Guys. You can come for your remarking if you want. I'm here. I'll help you. Okay, so the line, are we all together with question? You see that some questions are very much easy. Question 6, question 7. Are we all together, guys?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. Mind games are really scary. How will I know one is simple and the other is not?
It's because you solve. You don't look at the solution. Some of you, I know, some of you will look at the solution like, this might look like the one. You don't do that. You don't do that. You look at the question, you solve the problem, and then you check if one of the solution is in there. The straight line, EB cuts the parabola. Y is equals to 2x minus 3x minus 2 at E and B, and is parallel to y plus 1 is equals to 0. Y plus x equals to 0. Find D. What is D?
The turning point.
The turning point.
The turning point.
So how do you find D then? Help me find D.
Minus B over 2A, then you substitute
X
into what?
equal to B over 2A.
Oh, you can derive the
Some
equation.
of you say B over 2A. Fix that. Minus.
Minus B over
Minus B over
2A.
Thank you.
Oh, ma'am,
Yes.
you can also derive the equation.
Moha, why do you want to derive the equation when they derived the equation for you?
It's also another method of determining the turning point, right?
That's what I'm thinking. You want to do, okay, look at this. You are right. You can do that because you know that f of x, okay, f of x is equals to, but I didn't teach you derivation, you see, 3x minus 2, right? Then you say f of prime of x is equals to what? Is equals to, I want to show you how they derive this one. All right, so they say we have y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, right? So then they said y prime is equals to 2a, what's this? X
2ax plus b.
Plus b, right? Then they equated this to equals to 0. So then they say y prime is equals to 0. So 2ax plus b is equals to 0. So therefore, this is 2ax is equals to minus b over 2a over 2a. So this is x is equals to minus b over 2a, which is this formula here. Do you see that?
Yes,
so what Muhau is saying that you can go directly and use this formula or do step by step the way they did here. So it means in this case, so you did it in M what next? Derivation, you already did derivation.
Yes, ma'am.
So meaning Muhawi is saying that, Muhawi is saying you say y prime is equals to 4x minus 3. Don't forget to equate to 0. So then this will be equals to 4x minus 3 equals to 0. So then this will be equals to what? Will be equals to 4x is equals to 3 over 4 over 4. X is equals to 3 over 4. But me, because I like being lazy, what I do is I do this. I just say x is equal to minus b over 2a. So x is equals to, I know my minus b is minus 3. So that's minus 3 over 2 over 2, which is equals to 3 over 4, which is the same thing that we got with Muhao, isn't it? Yes or no? Are we sorted? Am I done?
Yes.
No,
you need another part.
No.
So what do I do with my x is equals to?
Substitute it to the original equation.
Okay, thank you. So then you say y is equals to 2, 3 over 4 squared minus 3, 3 over 4 minus 2. What is the answer? What is the answer? What is the answer, guys?
It's negative 50 over
Minus
8, which
25
is
over 8.
minus 25 over 8.
Minus
Minus
25 over 8.
8.
So which one? It's 3 over 4 minus 25 over 8. Which one is the answer here? Remember, there's also the option. There's also an option of none of above.
Number 3.
The answer is number 3.
Hey, this one I think because you saw this 4 over 3, I should have put another 4 over 3 here. And then you choose none of the above. I'm joking. Do you all understand why is it number 3, guys?
Yes.
Because I changed this number to a mixed fraction.
Yes.
Yeah, because I felt like that day. So I changed it into a mixed fraction. I said, how many 3s are in 25? What am I saying? How many 8s are in 25? So there are 3 of them and 1 remainder over 8. That's what I did that day. So at least now you have a clue, right? Yes? Did I hear a question? At least now you have a clue. Every clue. You see, some questions are easy. You can come back with your 50 and above. So what do they want here, guys? What do they want here? What do they want here? What do they want? What is the answer here? Let's start the answer. What is the answer? What did you get? The time is up, by the way. Are we continue? We are stopping, right?
Ain't no way.
Can we continue, please?
No, don't stop, ma'am.
No.
Let's finish off.
Okay, I will stop this recording. We'll start at what's this? What's question 8, and we'll start a new one.
Sorry, ma'am. Continue with the recording. I'm going to work currently. When I'm home at 10 o'clock, I'm just gonna go back to it again.
No, I need to. Yes, it's fine. I'll need to stop this one because it's 2 hours.
Okay.
I wouldn't watch a 4 hours recording as well. So we are stopping, then we restart.
Okay. Okay.
Sharp.
So we can go see